pimento cheese spread, the Calabrese, the Perseverance Society pepper jelly, one of my all-time favorites, and the original gluten-free crisp. Jessica.
Sure. So we have our pimento cheese. If you are from the South, you know it's a kind of our magical comfort food that I grew up eating. Pimento cheese sandwiches after school that my grandmother would make. And Jeremy, my husband and cheesemaker, he's not from the South. And so when we opened our cheese shop back in 2010, we wanted to offer some, cheese boards, and people kept saying, "You just make your own pimento cheese. I bet it would be so good." And so we just started experimenting, and we use our Thomasville tome as the base. So it is the only raw milk pimento that we know of on the market. We're using cleaned mayonnaise, piquillo peppers, and pimenton from Spain. Jeremy wanted to do his own little take on pimento cheese because, one, we didn't want to compete with everybody's grandmother's recipe because we knew that we couldn't beat grandma. But we wanted our own little take, and Jeremy fell in love with the flavors of Spain, so we thought that would be a really great combination, and a little bit of Dijon mustard in there. So it's really funny now. Our pimento cheese is our fastest growing SKU, but not necessarily in the South. It's outside of the South that people are really excited about experiencing pimento cheese. And it's just a fun story to tell. And I think it's really fun for our line because pimento cheese is very pedestrian and very approachable. You don't think of it as being like an artisan product, and but it's a fun story for us to share with people and say everybody deserves good cheese, even if it is pimento. So, and I have to say, I appreciate these layering all of the spicy flavors together. You get like a really great big punch, and but I am so excited about these gluten-free crackers because even in our restaurant, our cheese shop, we have so many more people that are gluten intolerant, and it's so great to have a gluten-free cracker that tastes good. So thank you for that.
All right, Ryan.
Yeah, this was exceptional. I can definitely say that I am one of those supporters outside of the South with the pimento cheese. So thank you for that. And while it may not compete with grandma's recipe, it definitely competes, that's for sure. The reason that I selected the Creminelli Calabrese was because of the spice. I wanted to layer these flavors together. The Creminelli Calabrese is a kind of a cult classic, a very popular amongst the consumer product that we make. This is Italian spicy, is the way that I always describe it. We source heritage breed pork. Everything we do is humanely raised. There's a real quality to the level of raw material that we're using, and we're definitely not looking to cover that up. And so you won't find an overwhelming amount of spice. When you put this Calabrese in your mouth, you're going to get a mild heat that comes up in the back of your throat, then down through the nose, really mostly on the finish. It's not overwhelming spice or kind of loaded full. It's pork first, flavor second. That's really what Cristiano does with everything that he develops. So this is 5 different types of paprika and pepper. This is a Calabrian recipe. And if you know much about Cristiano or his family, you'll know that the roots actually come from Biella, which is between Turin and Milan. So northern Italian, and a lot of people ask, where did he learn to make this recipe? And because his family dates back to when the family was nomadic, following herds around, this is why you see such an influence from around the countryside and landscape of Italy, including this Calabrian recipe. This recipe actually dates back to when the family would follow the herds of animals and make salami as a barter and trade, a way to get through the change of the seasons. So this is a recipe that the family learned to make while in the southern portion of Italy in the Calabrian region. And it definitely kind of helps elevate a spicy pairing. This pimento cheese, this cracker really kind of came together with the spread as well, really kind of came together to highlight variety of spices and layers of flavor that keep kind of hitting you as you bite through it. So this was definitely a great pairing.
Oliver.
That's funny, Ryan, you said that there's 4 different peppers in that. To be honest, at first I was like, wait, this is getting a little bit, we're not trying to force a pairing, too many things on top of it. But maybe there is something, he must have put 4 different peppers in that Calabrese for a reason. And I guess with our pepper jelly, we do green bell, red bell, jalapenos, and habaneros. Only 4. Some people, why? But it is just nice to have different layerings in there. And I just made a perfect little bite. It's a little red, but it's a nice little red little number, and it all kind of looks. And I taste another one. It is great. It's a warming thing. It's not overly. Ooh, this is like a hot wing. No, it's a nice, blended, warm taste. Really nice. I think the saltiness of the cheese is balanced with the sweetness of the jelly. That's my 2 cents. But this is our trendy southern pairing, isn't it?
Exactly.
Robert?
Okay, so for this pairing, for the crisp base, I just wanted to stay out of the way because there's a whole lot going on everywhere else. So I chose our new gluten-free crisp. We make this one with a steamed chickpea flour that the steaming process actually enhances the flavor of it. And I think it just has so much more nuance than a regular like thin cracker or whatever, gluten-free cracker that's made with rice flour. So I just felt this would make a really fair, nice, neutral background for the rest of it because there's a whole lot of pepper there. The pimento cheese spread, I just want to say, awesome. I love that little hint of pimenton is perfect. And I loved it with the pepper jelly. There's kind of like tanginess to that. And the Calabrese just has enough heat, not enough, doesn't push it over the edge. Still general audiences. Great pairing, really great.
Wow. It's hard to say which is an exceptional pairing, but this is just magnificent in all the flavors. It's spicy. It's got some heat to it. It's got some real flavors that just go across the board so well. I love this. The pepper jelly adds that brings out some saltiness. And so you really get a great combination. Everything brings something to this pairing. And it is so nice and also so distinct. Beer pairing, I know I'm going to hear about it, but, Pabst Blue Ribbon, PBR, if you're down home and you're drinking, this is a great beer that quenches the thirst. It does everything it's supposed to do. It cleans the palate for this. It's just a great beer for this type of pairing. So you don't have to go out and break the bank to have a good pairing with all of this and your beer. Very helpful. All right. So what you guys think about the contrast, but also the similarities? Jessica?
Well, I love the Calabrese salami. I mean, I think it is so fun because it's got so much flavor, but it's not overpowering. So you really can still taste the meat and the quality of the pork. And I think it lends itself really well to a beer pairing. I think that there's something just really fun about layering all of these pepper flavors. Like when I first saw the combination, I was thinking, oh gosh, I hope this is not too much. I hope they don't compete with each other. But I do think that there's like a really great harmony altogether.
Well, I have the cracked pepper here, which I think is an option that I'm going to try to see how that works and just go pepper, 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 pepper. And this, we'll just really push it through the edge there. But the cracked pepper isn't that intense. And I think it might add a little bit of fun flavor.
Michael, I thought about another one. I realized, it's so funny, like we're in the specialty food business and everything, but this little pairing, at first I wasn't sure about it. I thought it wouldn't quite work, but it does work. And to toot all of our horns here, I'm not sure if it would have worked if it was the standard, a cheap pepperoni, some overly thick car cracker, mom's overly mayonnaised pimento spread. I don't know. It might, and some less than reputable pepper jelly. It might not work. I think it really does need to be like this. So careful, all you watchers at home. You've got to execute this just like this. Otherwise, it might not work.
All right, if you want to step up your beer, I would go with a Vienna lager, and probably Sam Adams Boston Lager would probably be a really good choice because it's really got more flavor to it. So if you were stepping it up, being a little bit more respectful, that would be a direction to go. All right. Anything else anybody wants to say? All righty then.